question to both of you. Don't really want to award Hopkins a state title just yet since the season is barely half over, but have either of you, in your experience, seen a collection of talent on one team similar to what Hopkins has now? Granted, we're still relative the era where kids go from one school to another to play with friends, to play with other guys who are highly talented, to form a team that has a chance to win championships. That era is still fairly new, but can you recall teams that you've covered or seen that have accumulated the amount of talent similar to what Hopkins has this year?
Well, I'll go back to 1968, and I happened to be playing on the wrong side against Edina when they had a...
You were from the wrong side of the tracks. Let's admit that right up front.
St. Louis Park, and we're still proud of those Orioles. But Edina won 69 straight games, 3 straight state championships, homegrown talent, so to speak, even though Bob Zender, their star center, who went on to Kansas State, I believe, he grew up in St. Louis Park, moved to, I believe, Nebraska, and then moved back to, just happened to get a job his dad happened to get a job in Edina, and they found a house for him, and all of a sudden they're state champion. But anyway, they had Fiedler, Zender, they just had a deep bench, didn't they, John? And back in that era, you know, what wasn't the, quote, club team era. I mean, Richfield had homegrown talent that year. They played Edina before 13,500 people in the District 18 title game at Williams Arena. They don't even get 13,500 for a state tournament game now, but that's the only team that I could... This Hopkins team is better than the Minnetonka one that won the state championship last year. And I can't recall a better overall team. I mean, I'd like to have their second 5 playing, you know, starting for me for any other high school team, and I bet you they'd still get the state.
Greg, you make an excellent point. I remember that team, and by the way, let's clarify one thing right away. Bob Zender did not move to Edina. His parents achieved Edina. Secondly, the 1967 team at Edina, which was the middle of the 3 state championship teams, that was the greatest team I ever saw. And the Hopkins team could move into that number 1 slot if they win the state title this year. But that team had Jeff Wright, Kurt Shellhouse, Jay Kudrowski, Bob Zender as a junior. Just a tremendous, tremendous collection of talent. They played so well together for Coach Dwayne Bagleen. I think that's up to this point, that's the greatest team I ever saw, 67 Hornets.
Well, I'll tell you how good that Edina team was. That Edina played St. Louis Park, I think, in the district. That's when they had the district region state format. They played Edina and St. Louis Park played at Williams Arena in the semifinals. I remember looking up at the scoreboard. This is when they played 4 quarters, 4 8-minute quarters. After 8 minutes, the score was like 34-28. This was 1 quarter without the 3-point shot. That shows you just what terrific shooters St. Louis Park had. Stan Beaker, Edina had everybody. I mean, that was such a quality game, up and down the court, basket, but score like 60 points in 8 minutes. John, you coach in the high school level, that's a lot of points.
That's like a college game.
Well, the question that occurred to me was wondering how many conferences there are that Hopkins could win playing its backups, but that's probably a question for another time.